And to the messenger of the assembly which is at Smyrna write, These things says the first and the last, who was dead and lives. I know your works and the affliction and the poverty, yet you are rich, and the railing which is from them who say they are Jews and they are not, but are of the congregation of Hasatan. Be not terrified at any of the things you are about to suffer, for lo, the accuser will throw some of you into custody, that you may be tried, and there will be trouble to you 10 days. Be faithful to death, and I will give you the crown of life. He that has ears, let him hear what the Spirit says to the assemblies. He that is victorious will not be harmed by the second death. Be faithful to death, and I will give you the crown of life. James 1:12 says, Blessed is the man who endures temptation, for when he has been approved, he will receive the crown of life which the Lord has promised to those who love him. That may be an indication the Church of Smyrna will have temptation. Blue Letter Bible definition for temptation is an experiment, attempt, trial, proving. Definition C is a temptation of God by men. I failed to mention the location of the church in Ephesus in my last video. This is a map of where the churches were located in Turkey. I tend to think the importance of the 7 churches in Revelation to us in this time period is more of a spiritual application for where we may fall into one of those churches. Dionysius was idolized in Smyrna. It was believed Dionysius died and came back to life. When it says these things, says the first and the last, he who was dead and lives, it was letting them know it's not Dionysius who died and resurrected. There was a terrible time of persecution for Christians in Smyrna. For a 10-year period, Diocletian tried to have Christianity eradicated. If you were to use the day for a year principle, the 10 days could be a 10-year period. The Bible does say what has been will be again. Persecution 10 days could happen again. While it may not be what the Bible was referring to, there were some countries that had a rather harsh 10-day quarantine. Smyrna was said to be a city of great beauty with impressive architecture, which circled Mount Pagus like a crown, which is where the crown of life comes from. For those who say they are Jews, but they are not, they are the congregation of Hasatan. The word for Jews in that instance means Jewish, belonging to the Jewish nation, or Jewish as respects to birth, origin, religion. I think the real question is, who is Israel? What happened to the descendants of Jacob? The Bible gives us some clues about that. Deuteronomy 4:27, and the Lord will scatter you among the peoples, and you will be left few in number among the nations where the Lord will drive you. Leviticus 26:33, I will scatter you among the nations and draw out a sword after you. Your land shall be desolate and your cities waste. Deuteronomy 28:64, then the Lord will scatter you among all peoples, from one end of the earth to the other, and there you shall serve other gods, which neither you nor your fathers have known, wood and stone. Even from the New Testament, James 1:1, James, a bondservant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Genesis 48:19, Jacob was giving his blessing. He shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his descendant shall become a multitude of nations. A neat example of how prophetic the blessings were. Genesis 49:16, Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, a viper by the path. The direction Dan went was north and west along the Danube River. It's shaped much like a serpent. Genesis 49:19, Gad, a troop shall tramp upon him, but he shall triumph at last. The tribe of Gad, renowned for being warriors who protected the borders of Israel, camped in military tents for battles. The blessing Jacob gave Gad promised that Gad's descendants would be warred against, but would also be victorious against others. Because of this, their symbol is a military tent. Who else has lived in tents? From Tennessee, this is called the Bat Creek Stone. It was found in 1889 in the state of Tennessee in the United States. Though some have said it's a forgery, it says, "For the Judeans." There's a book called That's What the Old Ones Say. It's written by Chief Joseph Riverwind. In the book, he talks about histories handed down to Native Americans, one of which was the Creator telling a man named Noah to build a great canoe. It's a blessing when you realize who Israel is. And people can be grafted into the tree as well. Matthew 15, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.